Good morning. I am a hot mess today. Yesterday at work, we were having field day, and I was jumping in the playhouse with my students, and I took a tumble outside of the playhouse, from inside to outside of the playhouse. Landed on my rump and hit my head, and my student landed on top of me, and I broke my tailbone and could have a slight concussion, so taking it easy at home today. And I decided I can't wait any longer for my Comfrey oil to be to be soaking. It has been about 4 weeks now. I like it to soak like 6 to 8 to get like good and concentrated, but I decided I need my salve el pronto. So I am out in the pasture today, and I am going to boost my Comfrey with some Plantain and Yarrow. This is what I've already picked this morning. So there's narrow leaf plantain there, and there's yarrow all throughout here, and it's just getting ready to bloom. But I got some root and some flower and some leaf and some leaf of the narrow plantain. And now I'm going to go into the garden because we have broadleaf plantain growing in there. And oh, here's some more yarrow. Oh my gosh, bending over hurts so bad. I don't want to I'm just picking a little from like each plant. I don't want to like deplete my whole plant, but yeah, so now I'm going to work my way over there slowly and go get some broadleaf plantain to add into this. I'm going to dehydrate them just a little bit, get them wilted up and get some moisture out of them, and then I'm going to add them to my Comfrey oil, which I am going to go out. I have more Comfrey. Growing out front in my herb garden out front, and I'm going to pick some of those leaves. I did let it go to flower because it got hot here and it was doing it by itself anyway, so I let it go to flower, and I was just going to let it be and see if I could get it to bush up a little bit, but I'm going to use some of the flowers today, or the leaves today. Let me see here if I can make it out there and show you what my Comfrey plants look like. Silly me, I turned on the water before I came in here, so I'm going to quickly grab this broadleaf. Oh, covering the camera lens. I can't do this with one hand. Okay, so this is my Comfrey oil that I've had sitting, and I'm going to turn my oven on and go as low as it will go, which I believe is 170, and I'm going to preheat it. And then I'm going to lay my herbs out on here and get them wilted up a little bit. And anyway, I'm going to put my herbs out on here. Once that's preheated, I'm going to put these in and turn that off and let them be in there for an hour. I do have a dehydrator, but I have put it away in a cabinet that I have to bend down and get to it because we live in a small trailer house, and I mean, I constantly have stuff on the countertops and it drives me crazy. I should probably rinse that one off. The real dirty ones I think I'll rinse off and put on there, dab dry. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, here's all my herbs. I've got broadleaf plantain, yarrow, comfrey, narrowleaf plantain, and lemon balm. So these are skin cell regenerative, and yarrow helps with, when you put it on wounds, it helps with, to stop bleeding and bruising, helps with bruising. And then lemon balm is just for my my calming. I just need to, I love the smell of it, so it's going to be for calming. So I'm going to ignore my oven if it's dirty. I use it a lot. But I'm going to place this in. I've got it at 170, the lowest it'll go. And I'm going to place those in. And then I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to set a timer for an hour. Oops. And check on them and see if they are where I want them to be as far as the moisture. And then I'm going to cut them up, and I'm going to put them in a double boiler with this oil and double boil them and get the oil heated up and let them soak for another hour or so to kind of concentrate this oil a little bit so I can make my salve. Okay, I really messed up that little part of the video of me showing you my comfrey. So here's the comfrey. It's already gone to flower, and the flowers are starting to fall off and go to seed. And I harvested some of the leaves, and I use a little snipper because comfrey does have these little hairs on them, and sometimes they could be irritating to my skin. So I harvested with my little clippers. I was gonna take another one and show you. I've been taking the bottom leaves. Ugh. This plant is so healing when it comes to wounds. You know, sprains and breaks and bruises, and it's skin cell regenerative. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. It regenerates skin cells quicker. So I am using this in my salve for sure. My chickens. I need to check on my pools. Daryl and I watered underneath it real good, and then I put alfalfa sprout seeds down, and then I'm waiting a couple days. Today's day 2. It looks like they stepped on that one over there, to see if anything's sprouting for them, give them little treats. They have, you know, all of that to forage, but right in here they have really trampled the ground down. So yeah, there's my chickens. I'm gonna go in and add this to my other herbs that I have in the oven and get my double boiler pot ready for my oil. Okay, I did an oops. So I went out and got another leaf of Comfrey, and I came in and there was only 10 minutes left or 7 minutes left of time on the timer, and I wanted to put it in. And so when I put it in with the other ones, I pushed bake and like restart, and then I walked away to go feed the dogs and came back and it had preheated to 350. So I'm like, oh no. So I hurried up and pulled them out because I could really smell my lemon balm. And so a few of the leaves turned brown, but if you would have left it at 170 for an hour, that would have been perfect. I'm going to get these cut up. I've already got my Comfrey that I had soaking separated, and there's the oil. I added a little bit more olive oil to cover all of these. So I'm going to get them cut up and put them in this oil and get the double boiler on. Sorry, my stove is a little dirty. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, I've got my double boiler on. I've got water in this pot, my Comfrey oil in this pot. I've got my herbs cut up. The lemon balm smells so good. It's going to be good for my mental health. I'm going to add my herbs. That plantain, the wide leaf plantain, kind of held a lot of moisture still. And I know that water and oil don't mix. But I'm going to warm this up for an hour or so. And mixing every couple of minutes just to get that good and incorporated into my oil. Just making sure everything's covered. I'm not going to boil this. It's just going to, I've got it on low. It's just going to simmer and warm up and hopefully extract some of those healing properties, hopefully a lot of those healing properties into the oil. That smells really good. And then towards the end, you know, I will add clove oil and then my beeswax. I ended up taking a little nap and resting a little bit, and so this oil has been sitting for a couple of hours now. Yeah, it's got to be 2 or 3 hours now, so I think it's ready to be sifted and get ready to make the salve. Add my oils and my beeswax. So here, just a second. Okay, I've got my sieve and I've got my cheesecloth because I really don't want the little hard particles of comfrey from that dried comfrey to be in my salve, because I did do some before, and I don't know if you could see this, but the sediment gathered in this last little part of salve. This is one I've been using. Anyway, and when you go to rub that on the skin, because my kids love this stuff for like when they get a sunburn or you get a little burn. This stuff is great for sunburns and burns. Not deep burns. I haven't had a deep burn to try it on, but you don't want those little sediments I don't know if you could tell in this one a little bit better, but you don't want those sediments in rubbing on your skin. So I'm going to hopefully sift it through well with the cheesecloth and my sieve. So here we go. I just have to pour kind of slow so all the oil goes down into my vessel that I have underneath this, because it goes through slowly through the cheesecloth. It's nice and green. I know my olive oil was green to begin with, but it's nice and green. I hope I get at least 2 cups out of this, or pretty near close, darn near close. Just using my spatula to get the last bits. Then I'm going to carefully push and try to squeeze out any more. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of this, I've decided, because I'm squeezing and still getting a lot out. And so I'm going to put this in my cheesecloth. I just hope a bunch doesn't come through it, but with me forcing it, I'm going to put it in my cheesecloth and I'm going to squeeze it out. Okay. Oops, touched the oil, darn it. All right, I'm going to squeeze it, squeeze and turn. Let's see how much more I'm getting. And I had been pushing on it for a couple of minutes, so. Squeeze and turn. Okay, I am going to go apply this to my broken bone and wash my hands, because I'm not going to let this oil go to waste. I've decided I'm going to only use a cup of this. I got almost 3 cups of oil. So I decided I'm going to just use a cup of this and make me a batch to use for right now. And then I'm going to put some more Comfrey, and I'm going to add some calendula. This is also really good for your skin. It helps to heal burns and scrapes and cuts and rashes. And I'm going to let the other 2 cups sit in those flowers for a little while longer. Make it more concentrated. Okay, I've got my Comfrey and my calendula in this jar, quart jar. Push it down. I'm going to add my oil and save out a cup. I think that's, oh no, it's a cup and a half. Got a little bit more to go. Almost a cup. Alright, I think, feels like I'm there, and then I'm not. All right. Just at a cup. Still a little tiny bit over. Make sure. Yep, even on the counter, it's at a cup. I'm just going to add in a little bit more of my, I get this from Costco. And I just added a little bit more. And the calendula and the comfrey, the dried calendula and dried comfrey, I got off of Amazon. Okay, and then I just mark my jar that says olive oil, calendula, and comfrey, and the dates. And I set that aside. I usually put it in my cabinet over there. Okay, this will go to my chickens. I'm getting my double boiler that my daughter gave to me out because it's got these little pour spouts, and those will pour nicely into my jars. I'm going to measure out. So for 1 cup of oil, infused oil, you're going to want 1 ounce of beeswax. So I need to make sure that my scale is weighing in ounces. And I already had this out for my 2 ounces, but I mean my 2 cups, but it's 2 ounces, so too much. So I want 1 ounce of beeswax for 1 cup of oil. And this one is 1 ounce, 1.02 ounce, so that's perfect. 1 ounce of beeswax per 1 cup of infused oil. And I'm going to put this in my double boiler and melt that down before I add my oil. Okay, that's almost melted down, so I'm going to pour in my oil and stir it. My furnace is kicking on, the air conditioner. So if you hear something, that's that. My oils have cooled down, so it's going to make my, oh shoot, there's a little bit of sediment in there, darn it. I'm going to grab my spatula so I could scrape out my measuring cup. Okay, I have scraped out my measuring cup, and I'm going to try to strain it through a paper towel. That way it'll catch any more sediment, and I can just throw the paper towel away after I've rubbed it on my skin and used up what I wanted to out of it. So I'm just going to try that. And I'm going to turn up my double boiler for just a minute and get that all melted in, get my oils warmed up enough to melt that wax. Wax is 140 and the oil is 148. It's getting up there. And then I'm going to add, I use this clove oil. By now, I got that from Amazon. Okay, that is melted. I have turned it all the way down to low. Turn my fan off for a minute. I'm going to add my clove oil. Clove helps to numb the skin or the mouth. And so I'm putting a lot in. Kind of takes away my lemongrass smell, but I should have measured it out to be more precise for you, but I don't know. I'm just kind of going by scent, if I can really smell it in there, which I can. And I think I put enough in. That was quite a bit, so I should be good. Now I'm going to get it strained and put into my jars. Actually, I think I'm going to strain it into my measuring cup and then pour it into my jars. That way I don't make a huge mess with my jars. And I can go a little bit slower. Hopefully, oh, you know what? It might start setting up if I do that. Shoot. Okay, I'm just going to put it right into my jar. Pray I don't make a huge mess. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to kind of lean down so I can see. It's not going through very fast. So, I probably won't be able to strain it through a paper towel. Oh, it's going fast now. Oh, now I made a mess. See, I knew I was going to do that. Gosh darn it. I just did not want all that sediment. Oh well. I get what I get and I don't throw a fit, huh? Alright, let's try this again now that I've made a huge mess. Just going to pour it. And I'm going to move this over and get my next one. And I'm going to pour it. The sieve is catching some. Move this over, get my next one. There is a lot of sediment though. This last one is going to have a lot of sediment in it. I got a hair. My hair is constantly falling out. Okay, here we go. You see? Kind of in that area. Okay. I don't know if you could see in the pot, but I do have quite a bit of sediment in there. All right. Oop. Caught quite a bit of sediment, so that's good. I'm going to set that on my paper towel over there and show you what I've got. These are 4-ounce jars. So, oh, I didn't quite fill that one up as much as I would have liked. I like to go to that first ring there, but so I got 4 4-ounce jars. This one, it looks like it's not quite, you know, it's a little over half. It's 3/4, and then this one almost to the rings, but yeah, so I'm going to let those cool, and I will show you what they look like when they're cooled. And again, cleanup is pretty simple. I get out what I can before I wipe with a paper towel. And then I will give it a rinse with the hot water from the base. And then dry it again with some paper towels. And then to clean up the sieve, I will get out what I can with a paper towel. And then our water gets super hot here, so I will run hot water through it. And then if it doesn't, the wax doesn't all come off, I will put it in boiling water. But it usually comes pretty clean. Alright, it came pretty clean just with the hot water. I will run it through the pots and pans setting in my dishwasher though. But the sieve came pretty clean. So maybe right in there. But that'll come out, like I said, in the dishwasher. These are still cooling. Okay, I stuck this one in the fridge. These ones are still cooling, but I'm ready to go lay back down. So I am going to show you after being in the fridge for a little bit. Let's hope it's still kind of soft. It'll firm up more than that, but it is very, very soothing. I like it. And then, as always, you label. I put all the ingredients in it: olive oil, clove, comfrey, plantain, yarrow, lemon balm, and beeswax, and I dated it. This one's going with me, and these will continue cooling. So I hope you try to make this yourself and try using it and see how helpful it is for you and your family. Again, we have used it from especially sunburns. My kids went to Florida and got burnt, and all three of them used it, and they love it. They were thankful that they had it there with them in Florida. So from sunburns to scratches, scrapes, little cuts, bruises, sprains, and even broken bones. I'm gonna go use it on my broken tailbone. So thanks for watching. Bye.